Committee meeting for Monday, December 4th, 2023. And our first committee is Public Safety. Mr. Williams?
Sorry, calendar on Apple.
Okay.
I'd like to call to order the Public Safety Committee. We have two items on the agenda tonight. The first of which, the Brink DFR drone as a first responder, will be presented at a later date. The second will be a CPRB appointments, and that'll be discussed by
Mayor McCarthy is not, he will not be here.
I can discuss it if you'd like.
Mr. Colton.
I'll do my best. Hold on, let me turn to the right page, if you don't mind.
Is this an appointment?
Yep, it's an appointment to the CPRB, so SMHA and the League of Women Voters has proposed Tom Bellick, William Netcherman, and Victoria Cooper to be on the CPRB. Attached to the legislative request, there's a letter from the mayor dated November 27th. As you can see, all three reside within the city of Schenectady. Mr. Bellick is being recommended by the Municipal Housing Authority. William Netcherman is being recommended by the League of Women Voters, with Victoria Cooper being the alternate representative. The resumes are also attached. So looking for, is proposed by the mayor, looking for confirmation by the city council.
Any questions or comments from both council members?
I'll move this.
Second.
I just have a quick question. I just, and probably should have some prior knowledge of this. I was just wondering about like our diversity on this board. I don't know how much attention we're paying to that. I know that like a function of this board is to kind of, one of the things that they're doing is also working to kind of strengthen the relationship between police and community. There's especially communities of color. So I'm just wondering how much, how many people of color are on this board? How many people from marginalized communities are a representation on this board? I just think it's something that we just need to be mindful of.
I can tell you that there is a representative from the NAACP on the board, and the gentleman that we just appointed is, who is he representing? Ms. Patrick?
He is representing, but I can't remember, and we just voted on it.
City council.
City council, yeah, it was city council, we put him on.
All right, so that's two people that I can immediately think of. Brendan, are you aware of all the other people that are on the board?
I thought she was asking which organizations were appointing.
No.
This one's legal.
Okay.
And again, just for clear, it's just something. It's just something for us to just keep in mind. It's not, I don't think that disqualifies any of these candidates. It's just something for us to be mindful of.
And there is one other person, but she may be leaving. So
okay.
I know that Miriam Kajusti is also a member of the board. I don't know, so we can just talk it through. There was another person of color that was there as well, and she's decided to leave. So there has been adequate representation. Some people have decided to leave on their own because their terms are up.
Yeah, sure.
But that has been one thing that this board has been able to do pretty successfully. So we'll just keep it in mind to make sure that we stay successful.
Yeah, definitely.
So thank you for the question.
Dan, I think it's also worth noting, just very much a good question, making sure that we, Mr. Farley, have a nice understanding of the framework in which this body functions. Again, it's an extension of the community to make sure that any complaints pushed forward are evaluated and reviewed in the most critical of lenses. But definitely my comments had with Ms. Deneen, who's the current chair, definitely very reassured that this board is doing the good work of the city, and I've also had follow-on conversations looking to see if there's a way to bring some of these findings to the community in a way we can address complaints, how they're conducted, but also to provide some background context for just how to properly submit these moving forward. So if there are any other questions or concerns, I did have one for Mr. Colvin in a second. Do we need to pass these individually, or can we do it all at once?
You can do it all together.
All right, Ms. Borgia.
So actually, I just want to step back to the first agenda item. So if you want to finish passing that through, then I can just bring that up.
All right, I believe Mr.
We already have a motion on the table.
Seconded by Ms. Patrick. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. I just want to mention on the first agenda item, which is being moved out for 2 weeks, is a request by Chief Clifford. He wanted to make sure that he had people here actually from the organization and from a community that's already using the product, so that if there were any questions that came up, they'd be able to answer them adequately, and, you know, they wouldn't be, it wouldn't just be the police department trying to go based on what they've read. So he requested that this be pulled and put out for 2 weeks. So you have the information to read, so we'll give you an opportunity to read up on it, and then when the time comes, hopefully, if you have any questions, then they can be answered at that time. Thank you.
Any other items for the fall Public Safety Committee? Hearing none, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Thank you. I'd like to call to order City Development and Planning. We have 5 items on the agenda, and the first one is the BCNI Hamilton Hill Infill ARPA extension request. Ms. Carter.
Good evening, Madam President, City Council. We have the BCNI Hamilton Hill Infill Project. BCNI presented before the council in September. We requesting a 6-month extension to allow them time to get leverage funds needed to meet pre-contractual requirements. And today we have the new CEO, Shane Varghese, here with us to hopefully provide additional insight on where they are with retaining that funding to support the request. Shane?
Go over to
Thank you.
Bless you.
Good evening. I'm Shane Varghese. I'm 8 days on the job at BCNI, but many, many years in the community. I run the Boys and Girls Club and was Deputy County Manager for the last year. I know that our board president, Chad Kilborn, was here a few weeks ago, and he spoke about looking for an extension to these ARPA funds. And as a result of the unpredictable nature of grant funding streams, as well as the need to use the ARPA funds as intended, we've decided to complete this scattered site Schenectady infill project for both home ownership and rentals in 3 stages. This is the adjustment we've made. We requested a year extension for the city ARPA award of $500K, as we wanted to line it up to include the HCR home ARP funding, which is also ARPA funds. However, the HCR RFP just dropped last Friday, so that makes timing an issue. HCR did reach out to us, BCNI, in the last 8 days, and did encourage us to apply for this funding if our project met the qualifications, which it does. However, as is the case with grant funding, it sometimes does not follow our timelines. The good news is this: we have secured a significant private donor. And with the city's ARPA funds, we can begin stage 1 of this plan immediately. In fact, environmentals have already been completed on many of the distressed homes in this strategy. Stage 1 will include 7 units on Schenectady Street, of which BCNI already has site control. Therefore, we look to expend the ARPA dollars on this stage before the end of the 6th-month extension. Stage 2 includes another 8 units and includes some private dollars and the hopeful acquisition of HCR Home ARP award dollars. These are the homes on Germania Ave. These are the ones that the city passed in a resolution committing to BCNI. They are very distressed properties. We can make them beautiful again by following the strategy that we have set forth. It's very important to note that HCR has been clear that it doesn't typically look to invest in projects that bring no additional dollars to the table. The city's $500K in ARPA investment, as well as the private funding source that we've secured, makes the HCR award far more likely. Additionally, the HCR dollars are also ARPA funds, so it lines up nicely with the city's ARPA funds. Stage 3 will also require grant dollars that we are applying for, as well as a commitment from private investors. We're working closely with the Land Bank and Metroplex to maximize these efforts. Through this scattered site, Schenectady City Infill Project, BCNI is focused on renovating homes that are a major concern. There is no reason, other than dollars and a steadfast commitment, that these properties cannot provide a beautiful home for families in the community in the not-so-distant future. To summarize, we are able to begin work immediately on Schenectady Street with the resources we have now, including the $500K in ARPA from the city. So you know, the $500K from the city, those dollars aren't enough to fully rehab all of the units, which is why we have the private donor, and that's key. We expect all 7 of these units to be beautiful, durable, safe, and have people living in them ASAP. Stages 2 and 3 will be worked on as stage 1 is actually under construction. We simply have to follow the funding streams timelines. Those with the dollars set the timelines and the rules. That's what I have so far.
So I have a question. Are these going to be owner occupied or are these going to be rentals?
They're going to be a mix. It's going to be a mix. Of the 3 stages, we have 23 units. About half of them will be homeowner occupied, and half of them will be rental that will be managed by BCNI.
Any questions, Mr. Williams?
So you said stage 1 was 7 units on Schenectady Street, stage 2 was 8 units on Germanian Avenue. What was stage 3?
Stage 3 is Page right now, but we're also looking on Pleasant Street as well in Mount Pleasant.
Any other questions? Mr. Mutavarma?
So we do have 2 allocations, 2 ARPA allocation. You mentioned you're actually speaking on both of them at the same time? The $1 million and the 500,000?
No.
Or are you just addressing the 500,000?
This is just for the 500,000. That's all I'm speaking on now. We already received the counseling, or the owner-occupied rehab funding, and we also received foreclosure ARPA funds as well. Foreclosure counseling and assistance. So this is just for the Hamilton Hill infill, yes.
Other questions?
I think it's always a good time when you're able to find some private funders, that speaks definitely to the project in a really good light, so glad to hear that.
It was key. There's no reason why we shouldn't be pushing this forward now. The money's there, those homes need it. They should be ready to go as soon as possible.
Other questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move it.
Like extend it for
6 months.
6 months? Yeah, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much, Ms. Varga.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And congratulations, I guess, on your new position.
Thank you.
Hit the ground running, did you?
All right, our next item on the agenda is follow-up on the ARPA contract, Ms. Carter.
We are continuing to move forward with our ARPA contracts, getting executed contracts in. We are still waiting for Kiwanis Club to review and return the executed contract, and we just have one more that is still in corporate council review, which is the Hamilton Hill. Sorry, not Hamilton Hill, Habitat for Humanity, my apologies. The ones that are still pending city council's decision or have been approved for an extension is the YWCA Harbor House, and that is also on a spreadsheet that was provided to city council in the package. Their extension expires on March 2024, and they have requested more funds from city council. The Cocoa House is still pending a decision for the change in use of funds. I plan to bring that back at the next committee meeting. Electric City Food Cooperative, their extension is up on March 12, 2024, and Empowerment Center, Doree, and Miracle on Craig is in the hands of the mayor and city council on how we are moving forward with that. And that is my ARPA update.
Are there any questions? Okay. All right, thank you. And everyone has the handouts, Ms. Carter said you don't turn them. All right, thank you. And additionally, Mr. Ferrari provided us with the monies that have been spent so far, so you should also have a handout of the monies that have been spent or where we are in terms of purchase orders and contracts. So, the remaining items are all for property sales and therefore will be in executive session. So I'll entertain a motion to recess city development planning.
So moved.
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
We're recessed. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to call the Finance Committee to order. On the first item is the 2024 DSIC budget. We had a public hearing on the 27th of November. And I will open there for any questions with regards to the DSIC budget. Seeing none, may I have a motion?
Move it.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. The next one is the 2024 Upper Union Street budget. Same here, we had a public hearing on November 27th. Any discussion?
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. And third item is just a reminder, amend the City of Schenectady Code Section 234-1 to modify the annual income amount for tax exempt. And this is a public hearing is scheduled for next week, Monday, December 11th at 7 p.m. The next item is discussion, the 2024 operating budget, and I will hand this over to Ms. Porterfield.
Thank you, Mr. McFerrin. So as we all know that you all got the letter, and the budget was vetoed by the mayor. He sent the letter, which I did respond to, and I'm sure that you all received a copy of that as well. Subsequent to that, the mayor and I had a meeting on this past Friday to discuss how we can, move the budget forward and what it would take to get that to happen. I made some suggestions, which he was open to. I think it was a pretty productive conversation, and we left that with that we could use ARPA funds. Consider using ARPA funds on the waste, which is where the point of us not meeting was. So what I did was, and I told him I would do, is to forward some information on some suggestions and options that we could use in order to use the ARPA funds. And what he said that would happen is that he would then have someone reach out to the Department of Treasury to make sure that we could use them in that way. So that's where we are at this point. What I will provide for all of you is a copy of the email that I did send to the mayor subsequent to our meeting, so that you all have a copy of it. And at this point in time, we're waiting to hear back from the Treasury Department in terms of us having the ability to use those funds. As you can see, I outlined two options, both, one of which we discussed in the meeting, and the other is something that that as I did a lot of research over the weekend and I'm able to look at and come up with. I would just invite all council members, if you haven't already, to look at the overview of the ARPA guidelines for 2022, and then in August 2021, there was another one that came out, and then most recently on November 30th, there was something coming out to cover for the obligation. All the documents are online for you. If you need Ms. Maiku to forward them, she can certainly do that if you want to take the opportunity to read through them yourself as we try to move forward. So at this point in time, we're waiting to hear back from the Treasury Department as to whether or not those funds can be used in that way. Mr. Mudavarian, that's it in terms of the meeting on.
So did you have any follow-up conversation with Mr. Ferrari?
I have not spoken to Mr. Ferrari. I have not received any email from Mr. Ferrari. And I believe, Mr. Gugama, do you know anything about where this is at this point?
I actually forwarded it over to Alex, and she's looking into the uses. We are able to look at those two options.
Okay. So at this point in time, it's been moved over to Ms. Carver in the Department of Development, who I understand has reached out.
Yes.
All right. You can just, if you want to speak to that.
I did reach out to the U.S. Department of Treasury, just trying to find the cities of Schenectady's point of contact. Once I receive the point of contact, I'll be able to get clarity on the uses that are allowed.
So that's where we are at this point with this, and we have our goal was to be able to maybe to have the information today and to move that forward. Unfortunately, due to illness and absence in our finance department last week, we weren't able to get that done. Hopefully on Friday would have been the day, right at the day of the meeting, and so that did not happen. So at this point in time, we are, that's where we are. There is a special council meeting that is called for this Thursday. And perhaps we'll have the information by then. If not, the council meeting will still go forward because we have to take action on the veto. That's all I have, Mr. Mudavarian.
So we should recess the Finance Committee meeting to this Thursday?
No.
I mean, you can recess, you already have it scheduled as a special council meeting. So you can recess and, you know, try to vote something out of the finance committee.
And then into the special city
And
council
then-
meeting.
You can do that. The special meeting will still go forward regardless. You can certainly recess. The meeting's called for what time on Thursday?
5:30.
And you would be recessing then to what time?
How is everybody's schedule this Thursday?
Can we try to recess to 5?
Maybe recess, we can recess,
You have exams and stuff.
exam.
5:30 is it?
5:30 is it?
Huh.
They can do continue with if you recess the finance committee until 5:30, you would then do the special council meeting after. Obviously, there's a delay based on, the order of operations. And depending on what information you have on Thursday, you may not have any new information. And you would still go ahead then with the special, you open up with the finance committee,
Yep.
right? And then you may just, close that meeting out or recess it for another day, assuming that you have new information at some point in time, and then move ahead into the special meeting.
Okay,
So you want to recess to 5:30 then?
so we'll recess for 5:30 and then follow with the special city council meeting after that. I hope by then we can get all the information. Ms. Porter, will you follow up?
Absolutely. I've sent follow-up emails, as we know, all of you got the email that the mayor is out of town this week. However, he has been in touch with the staff, and I've been in touch with him. So, or he's away. I don't know if he's out of town. I'm assuming he's out of town, since he did send out you all got a copy of the executive order? Okay, so, but he did make himself available by phone and also by email, so.
Go ahead,
So we
please.
can stay in
Do
touch.
we need to, because the media advisory says 5:30 for the special council meeting, do we have to worry about that, or?
I think, the folks who are here are under the impression that, the order of operations will be, if you have new information for the purposes of the finance committee, you can obviously discuss that and perhaps vote something out of the finance committee for potential, for the special city council meeting. Otherwise, you would have Mr. Mavera would call open the finance committee, and you may have to recess that, if you don't have new information, and then go right into the special city council meeting to take action on the veto. So when the mayor's vetoed the ordinance, the ordinance is supposed to go before the council at its next meeting, special or regular, because the city code doesn't say. So it would be at the special meeting.
Any other questions? So seeing none, I will entertain a motion to recess the finance committee until
Second.
December the 7th at 5:30 p.m. Second, all in favor? Aye. Any other business for the finance?
Motion to adjourn.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Thank you.
We
already recessed.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, take that
Double,
back.
double.
take that back. Sorry.
So I'm going to call to order claims. We have one item on the agenda, Walter G. Fritz versus the City of Schenectady. I'd like to turn over to Ms.
I would suggest we go into
Sure,
executive
sorry.
session on that.
I got all
Sorry,
flustered.
I
Yeah.
started.
So I would like a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, we're going to executive session.